But the minute you,
Hello, everyone. This is Jackie Martin with BMore Learning, and we are starting a brand new series called Pop-Up Positivity, really trying to bring some inspiration, some motivation, some well-needed assistance, and just knowing that we're not alone in everything everyone's going through in this time. And so we wanted to just connect you to some new faces, to some new levels of expertise, and to some dear friends of mine through this process. So I wanted you to meet Nina Obier. Nina lives down in the south part of Florida, and she and I have been friends through, several organizations, direct selling organizations through the years. We just really have kindred souls. And Nina has just been an amazing coach, life coach, and instructor. She has worked with Melissa West and Dana Wild, and just some really incredible other leading women who are helping to bring clarity and to bring inspiration to the people that she comes in contact with. I love her. I know you will love her. And so, Nina, would you first, just before we start into the questions, tell them just a little bit more about what it is you do?
well, thank you, Jackie, so much for inviting me into this incredible series. Like, what a great idea. And that is one of the things I've always loved about you, is that you just have your finger on the pulse, right? And you know what is needed in the world and in your community. And you're a true leader in my eyes. So it is an honor, really, to be here with you. And so who am I and why listen to me, right? And I think one of the things that I love to tell people is that I have realized that I can be a self-proclaimed mindset mentor and a clarity coach. And the reason I am good at that is because I have a keen sense of listening. I feel like I'm an exceptional listener, and I ask really good questions. And what I have found is sometimes, people, we want to keep things like on the surface, but really we're not going to find out what's really going on unless we dig a little deeper, because gold is found underneath the surface. And so I believe that's what I bring to the table. I know that I've been designed and created to be someone who's encouraging, who's vibrant, who's joyful, and I bring that all the time, even in these times. And I always try to do everything I do with a level of respect, love, and compassion, but I'm not going to deny who God created and designed me to be. And that's what I want for everyone. I want everyone to step into that in their lives. So that's a little bit more about me.
Love it. Well, and I think the part of what makes you so good at what you do, and that makes you such a great friend to me and others, is that you not only do you listen well, but I think you've got an amazing intuition that allows you to sort of peek behind the curtain as to what may be holding people back, or what may be sort of those trigger or pivot moments that can help inspire people to take some action. I know one of the things that you specialize in is helping people take chaos in their lives or in their circumstances and try to turn that into something that makes sense, and they get clarity on it. And I had my daughter ask me a week or two ago, "Hey mom, when have you experienced times like these?" And I got to tell you, it was like, never. I mean, oh my goodness, we are in unprecedented times. So my first question to you really is, how do you take some of these principles that you've been helping us with in our harried, scarried life? How do you apply them to what we're going through right now with respect to mindset or clarity, or any of those areas?
Such a great question, right? And when you just asked that, I paused for a minute and I thought, what most resembles, right? There's nothing like this time, definitely nothing like this time. However, have there been times, maybe individually, where some of us have gone through something, maybe not collectively as a global community, but maybe within your life? And what brings me back is in September 11th, right? 2001. And depending on if you had a personal connection to it, or if someone in your family or something like that, I would imagine to some point you were faced with, again, a choice, right? A choice of how you were going to walk through this or come through this. And, you know, it really goes down to a choice of, am I going to watch and, let me just get to the point. Are you going to choose fear, right? Or are you going to choose faith? And I think if you were around in those times, and for me, I had young children, it was actually the turning point of when I really decided to actually work from home, right? Some of you are being forced to work at home right now, but I actually chose to do it in those times. And it was a big game changer in my life. And so again, the mindset around that, was I going to show up and stand up and be a beacon of hope and light? Or was I going to, again, watch things that were going to cause me to go down another, you know, rabbit hole? So to me, right now, what I've been doing in these past several weeks is I've really been deciding that I want to react less and I want to respond more. And if you look up those two words in the dictionary, they're actually going to sound about the same. So bear with me. Between the react and the respond, there's one step, and that's to breathe. That's to breathe, and that's to check where you're at. Where are you at? By breathing, we actually calm down our mind. It's one simple step that I think people are skipping. Right? They're skipping. And when they say, what do you do, Nina? And I say, I breathe. They're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, it really is that simple. Because I think many of us, like right now, I don't want to breathe because I'm so excited about telling you about it.
Yeah. Yes. You know, it's funny that you say that about breathing. I think people take that for granted. And isn't it interesting that we have a respiratory illness? I mean, but because I think there is a lack of breathing, in which case people are just reacting. And so how does breathing help us?
So I believe that in the breath, so that pause between react and respond, we then get to check in with where is our mind going. So our mind has 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. That was on a regular day. And I imagine many of you aren't having a regular day these days, okay?
Yeah.
And so out of those 60 to 90,000 thoughts, like 90% or more, I'm being very general here, don't mind me, are the same thoughts you had yesterday. And then out of those same thoughts, it's somewhere around 70% are not thoughts that are serving you.
Oh, yes.
And I believe that's happening because we are in this constant reactionary, right, mode. We are, and it depends on what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're listening to, right? That really perpetuates those thoughts. And so in between the react and the respond is that pause. Now, literally breathing is one. Number two, what I'm known for, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is put pen to paper.
Yes, journaling.
So journaling, rambling, ranting, whatever it is, there is scientific proof that getting it out of your head and putting it on paper, you're effectively giving it a place. You're giving it a spot, you're giving it a place. So many times right now, you might have a lot that just keeps repeating in your brain. And by the way, there's a part in your brain that's called the reticular activating system, RAS, reticular, and it is waiting for you to give it its command. It's standing at attention, saying, all right, I'm ready, give me the command. And the thoughts that you're feeding it
Mm.
It's then going out trying to match that up for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the pause is so important.
Yes.
To get these thoughts in place. The reticular activating system, it doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined.
Oh, isn't that powerful? You also said something, because I think so much of the thoughts we have, we feel as though they're random and we don't have control over them. But you said a couple of things, and you've used the word, you didn't use the word intentional, but that's where my brain that you make a decision about those things. And I love that. So you told us some of the things to maybe watch out for. Don't watch what you listen to, watch what you're watching on TV. What can you do in addition to breathing and writing it down that helps you decide to keep focused on something maybe more positive?
I really think it really does come down to you taking an audit, right? Of, again, who, what, where you're at, what you're listening to. And I believe people sometimes, right, just go, yeah, that's in check. And maybe it's not. And maybe it is that phone that you're unwilling to put down.
Oh, yeah.
That you're just, oh no, I'm just scrolling through, I'm good. There is scientific proof how quickly our brain will pick up on what we're watching, what we're listening to, what we're reading, what we're saying to ourselves.
Wow. Yeah, we say things to ourselves we'd never say to anybody else. Isn't that true?
Ever. And then, so this is not to shame you or blame you or say, I'm certainly not waving my finger at anybody, right? I just like to heighten your awareness. I like to heighten your awareness, and it's all a choice. I truly believe how we come out of this or any situation that we're ever given, the choice is ours. And I am by no means perfect. And if I'm being completely honest, I was awoken just last night, no coincidence, so that I could be a model for you, that at 3 a.m. you can wake up. And then, can you go back to sleep? And 9 times out of 10, I can go back to sleep. But last night, my mind, it went on a journey. It went on a journey. And again, it was just another opportunity for me to put in place what I know to be true. So here's what I know to be true. Notice it. So I definitely noticed it, right? I noticed that the thoughts were not thoughts that were going to serve me. And then I was nice to myself, right? I didn't beat myself up. I didn't say, go back to bed. Why aren't you going back to bed? It's so hard to go back to bed. Because guess what? The more I say, I can't fall asleep. It's so hard to go to bed. I'm never going to get any more sleep. My reticular activating system says, aye, Captain, no sleep for you.
Yes,
kind of like no soup for you.
Yeah, no.
No sleep for you. So instead, I was nice to myself, and I said, okay, you're human. This is good. All right. Maybe there's something you're supposed to be told here. Maybe it's I am a believer, so maybe it's an angel trying to speak to you. Again, find the good, and then you get to make that decision. So again, notice it. Be nice to it. And then find out which thoughts are not serving you. So I call it the nix stage. I'm going to nix that thought for right now, and I'm going to reprogram it with something new. And again, if I'm being completely honest, it wasn't like 1, 2, 3, Nina's back to sleep. No, it wasn't like that. And that's okay. And I still got enough sleep.
Yeah.
And I woke up today ready to go. Not going to harp on it, right? The past is just an event that happened to happen. The future's not here yet. The only thing I can be in control of is the present right now.
That's right. So you're really saying this takes practice. And you have to be intentional to make that decision, to even notice that you are actually causing the pit in your stomach or the the racing heart or that reactionary mode, you've gone there. So let me ask you this, because the other side of it is responding. So tell us more about the difference in how we can get to responding instead.
Well, so that ties into, and I think it comes more succinctly. If I'm being completely honest, I love to be honest, but being completely honest, when we are grounded in who we were designed and created to be. So the fact that I can react less and respond more, and then the gap between those is when I pause and write, then I usually can respond when I know that I know what my priorities are, what my personal responsibilities are, meaning if it doesn't get done by me, it's not going to get done, right? So that personal responsibility. So right now is an incredible time to really reflect, right? We were all doing so much just for the sake of doing. Some of us, I'm not going to call out everybody, but just for the sake of doing, just because we were following along, right? What an incredible time now to really say, okay, I saw this quote. Someone's like, okay, you have a choice now of what will come back into your life. And I think that's where, things are shifting now, and they're going to continue to shift, and you get to choose how you're going to go forward. And you do that by really being grounded in your priorities and your values and knowing your purpose.
Well, one of the things just so you know, folks, one of my absolute favorite Nina-isms is that she says, even in challenging times, what if it's better? I mean, what could we dare think and hope? There it is. See that we could hope that what if we come out of this and it's actually better? So I'm sure you've been thinking those thoughts and maybe sharing those with those you coach right now. How do you think that's going to play out in the next weeks or months for us?
Well, just so you all know, whether you like it or not, I'm praying for that, actually. I'm praying it for everyone, because be honest with yourself. Really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, were you completely in alignment with the way your life was going? I feel like so many people, and at least people I work with and the communities that I'm connected with, how many times I heard people overwhelmed or not connected, or their family life, or I even one of my truths for during my Lent was the connection with my husband and the communication piece, right? That we're going on almost 30 years of marriage. And one of the things I wrote down was about how we can improve upon that. Well, thank you, God, because now it's just me and my husband. So we have no choice. So I asked you, really. And even if, because let me tell you, things were rocking and rolling over here. And I have been, because I've been in alignment with who I am and what I do and with my kids and just all of that. And I think it's because I believe even when there's a setback, what if it's better? It's all happening for us. So again, I think it's going to come down to, let's just go all the way back. What are you going to choose right now? And are you going to choose to let the fear of the unknown have a chokehold on you? Or are you going to choose to be a beacon of hope and light and say, what if it's better?
That is amazing. Nina, wow, what wise words you've got. And I think that's, there's even breath in hearing those words and being around people who feel that way, so much lighter than there's just a lot of heaviness and a lot of things that people are going to. And so I love the fact that you say that's a choice. And if we're overwhelmed, or we find ourselves grieving or sad or just angry, some people are even in that stage right now, then we have a choice about what we're going to focus on. and then how that shifts us from reacting to responding, and even starting to look on hopefully with a what if it's better. And I love that. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I just keep talking about that kind of stuff, right? And so I'm telling my brain, my reticular activating system, to keep looking for those things. And so again, I'm not sure exactly who I'm speaking to, but I know I'm speaking to someone. What if in the back of your mind, you were like, I've always wanted to work from home. And now your organization was forced to do that. And you now get to experience it, maybe not on the level that you were looking for, but what if it's better?
Yeah.
And what if you show up as the best worker on the planet all along while being the best support system to your family? And then when things go back, your work is like, yes, you can work from home.
Yeah.
And then your kids eventually go back to school and now you're like, whoop, whoop, I mean, come on, right? Like I see more of that. We have to. Everyone is going to have to look at how they operated before.
Yes.
And then how they're operating now.
Hmm.
And once it's over, how they want to operate then. That's what I see as the stages. And so I'm just totally not getting too far ahead of myself. And I am totally not even looking back because it's done. It's done. What am I doing day in and day out? What routines, structures, and habits do I want to keep forward?
Yes.
So that on the other side, they're stronger, they're better, they're bigger.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, Nina, so if people might want to get to know you more or maybe have a chance to chat with you, how would they reach you?
So either, I love doing Instagram, by the way, y'all. Like I love Instagram and my Instagram stories. They're just for fun because one of my go-tos is to have fun. So on Instagram, I'm at Nina Obier. And I also am on the Facebook for those of you who haven't been on Instagram yet. And you can join me also at Nina Obier.
Oh, well, Nina, I just love you, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you being our inaugural video, but more than that, just sharing from your heart. And I think that it encapsulates what positivity should be all about. And again, we have a choice on whether we're going to choose to be that or something else. And I think that's it. Hey, in an age of everything's new, why not choose that if that hasn't been what you've chosen in the past? So thank you so much. Oh, wait, what?
Oh, y'all,
Oh.
Now I know why this quote came up today. Can I just share one more thing?
Yeah.
Staying positive does not mean that things will turn out okay. Rather, it is knowing that you will be okay, no matter how things turn out.
Oh, the reason we're doing this is because our natural tendency when things get stressful or, in times like these, we want to run to each other, do we not? And this is such a strange situation that we can't, but we can. And so even though the connection has shifted a little bit in the way it shows up, I think that staying connected to each other, staying this way, staying connected to people who are positive and uplifting versus anything else, that's the way we want to do it. I love that. You're absolutely right. We can't deny things are happening and can't deny that there's some awful things happening. But we do have a choice in how we respond to it instead of just letting it be a reaction that we have. Thank you, Nina, for sharing. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you being part of this. Want to share as much as you can with friends and family this pop-up positivity. We appreciate you so much. This is Jackie Martin with A Matter of Motivation.